reason to play indoor cricket. You don't have to chase that one to the boundary to pick it up.
Or into the car park. The amount of time. I just ended up keeping towards the end of my outdoor career because there was no way I could keep bowling. Lost too many balls. That is an excellent shot. Wayne Brand's played the 2 shots of the evening so far. The 3 earlier and then the 4, which is basically the same shot except a bit deeper into the net.
Yeah, he played that one a bit straighter.
Yeah, really, really great shot. Would you say the most difficult shot to play in indoor cricket, Stu?
Oh, definitely. The way to get your bat through and to get your feet in position early. As I said before, it's definitely something that I haven't come close to mastering, but there are some really good exponents of it that have, over the years, that have graced our game. People like Lyle Teskey that's still playing, Craig Window, Troy Gursky. There's a mountain of them that they're just in my era. But yeah, it's definitely not an easy shot to play.
Reece Dinas comes to mind for me as well.
Yeah, Reece is a different prospect. He can play them from anywhere. It doesn't have to be on your legs for him to play a down-up 3 off his legs, so it's on leg side. So it's definitely a different proposition with Reece.
Shout out to Reece. He's quite the freak. We've got Eddie Mariner to close here, and the momentum has swung again, this time in Toombul's favour. A really, really productive over against Brad Zeller, and now they're 18 for the skin. 55 is the total.
Yeah, that's well bowled.
That's, just wonderful change of pace so far in the over. He's bowled 3 deliveries, all different paces, and offering different variations as well with his hands. Quite the wily customer. Glenn Connell probably did well not to edge that one. Oh, done him all up there as well. It's hit him on the back leg. Probably wasn't going to hit the stumps anyway, so crisis not really averted, but here's a 3rd ball opportunity. As a leg spin bowler, where do you think Eddie Mariner is going to try and land this one?
Around middle and leg stump. I really think you need to attack the stumps even as a leg spinner. That was probably a little bit too short, but I really like to see them at middle and leg. And that way, if it doesn't turn as much, it's still bringing all dismissals in. And even if it does rip, you've still got the edges and the stumping opportunities.
But as it was, probably a touch short, and then a touch full. Oh, had him all done at the receiver's end there, but unluckily the flick misses. 4 runs scored for Wayne Brand. A skin total of 24, you've got to say. Pretty happy with that, considering they were 4 after 2 overs. Yeah,
I wouldn't have expected that from where they were, but as you said, a little bit of aggression towards the end, and a few balls in not quite the right spot, and they get their 24. So, again, I think we're back on par. Wynnum probably slightly in the driver's seat, but there's only probably 4 or 5 runs difference.
It's worth remembering that these teams are littered with representative talent. Wynnum are undefeated to this point. And last time they played against Toombul, they beat them 106 to 100 back in June. We have Grant Macquarie and Jason Freeman walking to the crease. Now, Freeman looks like he's going to take strike. He's averaging 14 runs per innings. He's in fantastic form. Grant has had an unlucky run. He's averaging about 3. He's a better player than that, and he'll feel that he's probably due, and what better time, Stu?
Yeah, and Jason Freeman, I've actually had the pleasure of playing with him on and off for about 20 years now, and he's probably the most relaxed cricketer I've ever known. Not much seems to faze him out there, and I think between he and Grant, a good 25 here will be a good total to post.
As he, as you say, is the most relaxed cricketer going around. He nonchalantly just plays it into the leg side there for 2 runs. Grant Macquarie on strike to Trevor Mariner. And a really great delivery. Shaping it in beautifully. And well kept out by Grant, really. Mariner will sense an opportunity here. He'll know that Grant Macquarie has been not in the best of form. It's a good shot from Macquarie there. Oh, chance, but not out. Freeman did get back. Really good piece of fielding there, and quite a good shot from Macquarie. Probably unlucky it didn't get over the fielder's head there, but safely calls no early enough that Freeman can get back and take the dot. Now we have a 3rd ball opportunity, which means the score must change on this delivery. Mariner into Macquarie. Full toss. Oh.
Misfield. It's unfortunate. It was well bowled.
Had him on toast.
It's another full toss. I love them. They're underrated.
Underrated, the full toss. The thing about the full toss is it probably causes you to play straight, which brings your fielders into it, so it's probably better than going too short. Slower ball there at the back of the hand for Trevor. Misguided. It's gone down the leg side. Left-hand, right-hand combination could have hurt him here, and it's cost him 2 runs. Freeman calmly just accepting those 2. Oh, that's wonderful fielding. Who is that down the front? Steven Zeller. Oh, gets on the ground. As you mentioned, wonderful touch into the keeper.
I make fun of the fact of how he throws himself around and he always ended up on the ground, but the one thing he does really well is at the point of contact, he's actually balanced.
Yes.
And he's balanced, makes contact with the ball towards the stumps, and then his body momentum takes over. So that's a really good example of remaining balanced, keeping your body under control, and then affecting a good out.
You could probably argue, actually, that part of the reason he is so balanced is because he is getting down so early. It gives him the chance to, balance himself once he's down there, assess the situation, and that delivery at top of the stumps there is textbook. I think we're going with Kieran McHugh here. As I mentioned, in the semi-final against Gold Coast, he bowled the pivotal last over as there was 8 runs required with 3 deliveries left, and he castled Tucker to make it a much, much safer situation for Wynnum through to the grand final. And he also bowled brilliantly in his first over here, 1 for -4. So I noticed that he swings the ball into the right-hander, which means he's probably going to take it away from Freeman here. Could be interesting. Oh.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if he tosses one up here, I don't think Jason will be able to hold his intent in, and I think he'll find it back over his head.
So an interesting battle at our hands here. Grant Macquarie on strike after Freeman takes 1 off his legs there. Oh, no, he's called that good. Probably a good call. Looks like Grant Macquarie's moved quite a long way across his stumps there.
Yeah, it's a good call by Eddie there, putting 2 on leg side.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, obviously, with the ball swinging into the right-hander. A mistake by the receiver there, Eddie Mariner. Pretty good service right next to the stumps. The receiver slightly out of position. Yeah. I think he was ball chasing there.
I think he got caught out of position. I think the trick in that space is to try and have a little bit of faith in your fielders.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you're only really giving up 1 run if they misfield it into the net and it happens to hit the back. But the other side of that is, as we saw there, if you miss it, it's 5 runs you miss out on.
Absolutely. And as you're talking there, we've had another piece of brilliant balance in the front court, this time staying upright to deliver a wonderful touch to the keeper's end. And Trevor Mariner does the rest. This is really good bowling from Kieran McHugh. He's bowling it nice and tight into Freeman there. He hasn't given him any room to free his arms. And it's created a couple of wicket opportunities, which Wynnum have been good enough to take. That's a lovely shot by Macquarie. Did it get to that net? It was a great effort in the front court. He's called it 1. So Wayne Thomas has the best view in the house, and he's called it 1. A great shot nonetheless from Macquarie, and it's a very safe one, which is the next best thing. Again on the legs of Freeman. Ooh, a no call early enough for Macquarie to get back. That's wonderful bowling for Kieran McHugh. He's bowled his 2 overs, 2 for -6. So between him and Steph Zeller, they've taken 5 for -15. And at the end of this game, if the game does go in Wynnum's favour, I think we're going to look back at those 2 bowlers in particular and probably say they had the biggest impact on the match. A wonderful effort setting up this total, this chaseable total, hopefully, for Wynnum.
Yeah, and the real impressive thing is they haven't sort of tried to blast the teams out. They've bowled really good lines. They've come up with a plan, had the batters playing flat, which again's brought the field into play. And as you said, the fielding from Wynnum today has been excellent.
Yep. Oh, that's a stumping. So he snuck one just past his legs there, and Trevor Mariner, too good. Onto a wicket straight away here. Is that Paul Cross bowling?
No, that's Andrew Howard.
Andrew Howard, my apologies to both players. Andrew Howard Lovely line there, just sneaking it inside the leg side line. Very difficult shot to play. And Grant Macquarie's just run past it, unfortunately for him. The score is now 54 with this skin at -7. And there's a lot of pressure on Toombul here. You can really feel that Wynnum is up for this battle, and I think they've sensed an opportunity with this batting pair, and they're going in hard for the kill here.
Yeah, Toombul really need to just try and consolidate here, and as we said earlier, just try and whatever we get, and then back your bowlers to do a job. They've got a fairly good bowling attack, so if they can come up with sort of 70 to 75, they would have definitely still been in the game. So I think at the moment they're probably about 10 to 15 short. That's better from Jason.
Yeah, really good shot. Oh, slightly lethargic, maybe a little bit too calm coming through. Maybe a bit polite to the fielder. Probably should have knocked him over. That's
pretty much Jason. I think he was happy to give Steph right away there.
Yeah, at his own peril potentially. Oh, that's wonderful fielding. Oh, Grant a little bit sluggish to get going there, and there was a chance if the throw was slightly better. I often have the argument with outdoor cricket fans that sit there and say that indoor cricket might be a bit boring or something like that, and I look at the fielding efforts, particularly from gentlemen that are over 45. Well, that's an example of very safe fielding there from Brad Zeller to take the catch there. Another -5. Brings them back down to 54. But the fielding so far tonight from gentlemen who have seen better years and more athletic years has been pretty exceptional, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point about the benefits of playing both formats and what you can pick up from both formats, and transferring your indoor skills. If you look at some of the great fielders that we've had over the years in an outdoor space, they've all had an indoor background, and I think the ability to turn and throw and do things at pace and having quick reflexes has become evident in what they execute on the outdoor pitch. So just as from an outdoor point of view, the things that you can execute indoors.
Yep, absolutely. We've got Paul Cross in to finish here. Really important that he doesn't let Toombul seize any momentum here, because it's all Wynnum's way at the moment with 54. And oh, goodness, just beats him outside his off stump. Grant having a little bit of trouble there, and a really good delivery from Paul Cross. Probably unlucky he didn't collect his off bail there. 5 more deliveries. Toombul really just have to get every run matters now at this point. And in that spirit, rushing a sneaky single. This time Freeman, less polite to the fielder, takes him with him. 1 scored. Probably a little bit risky there from Macquarie, but at this point, you've just got to get as many runs as you can. And as you said earlier, you've got to back your bowlers. If Wynnum were able to keep Toombul to a certain amount, then Toombul surely must also be able to keep Wynnum to a certain amount, theoretically.
Definitely, and as you said before, Toombul's got some pretty good bowlers in Wayne Brand. Jason Freeman is probably one of the most underrated bowlers that I've ever faced. The guy's got 9 different balls. So I think when you throw him in there, Mickey Spillane with his left arm off spin, there's definitely some wicket-taking weapons within the Toombul side. So whatever total they can get, they've just got to go out believing that they can defend it.
You haven't mentioned their top wicket-taker, Dave Bowden, who has 22 wickets to his name in his 13 games. So there's, as you mentioned, plenty of wicket-taking and good fielders too to get the job done. So even though a par score in 6-ball indoor cricket might be about 80 or higher, even if there is about 50 or 60 on the board here, this game is very, very far from over, so please do stay tuned in. That's a leg side call there, a correct call by Wayne Thomas. That's 2 runs, and because it's the final over of the skin and of the innings, a re-bowl has been called by Jason Freeman, looking to get as many deliveries as he can to score runs here. Oh, aggressive to the leg side, takes his 2 runs.
Yeah, just trying to hit that a little bit too hard, I think.
Yeah, slightly playing across the line there, but 2's the result. Not a bad one. And now it's up to Paul Cross and Grant Macquarie to square off for one last delivery in this innings. 62 is the score. And a good one. Nice and straight. Oh, they've called, yes, a mix-up. unluckily for Wynnum, there's a misfield from the offside sweeper there. I think that's Kieran McHugh, and one has scored. Paul Cross finishes with figures of none for 23. That's probably a little bit unlucky. I think he bowled better than that. The skin total was 3 for Toombul to finish there. The team total was 64. As we mentioned, Stu, probably a little bit behind the 8 ball, but you'd have to say it's got to be enough for them. It just simply has to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're probably 15 runs short of where they'd like to be. I think 80 in a final, batting first is a good enough total. I think the first pair will really dictate how the game will go. If they can keep the first pair down to that sort of 15 to 20 mark and have the last pair coming in still having to chase runs, then I think it's anybody's game. But Wynnum definitely on top at the moment.
It's worth mentioning that in last week's semi-final, to get into this game, Toombul kept Ipswich to 64 runs. And Ipswich has a very classy side. So it is certainly in their wheelhouse to be able to keep very good teams to 64 runs.
Yep.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I'm sure you could have seen what happened there. Wayne Brand opened the bowling. 7 runs scored by Steph Zeller and Paul Cross for Wynnum. I've got John McLaughlin here with me. John McLaughlin, the current Queensland 35's coach. Thanks for joining us, John.
Afternoon, Bo. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. We were talking off air about the skills of the 2 opening bats here, Steph Zeller and Paul Cross. You know a little bit more about them than I do. Could you fill us in?
A couple of stalwarts of Queensland indoor cricket. Steph Zeller is a former Australian open men's player and also a current Queensland over 40s state player who's been selected to go to South Africa for the upcoming World Series. And Paul Cross has been thereabouts in the Australian selectors' eyes, but has been playing state level cricket for a numerous amount of years. So you couldn't ask for a couple of quality batters. But there you go. Change up of bowling, and it's created a wicket, which is probably what Toombul needed.
You've got to say, it seems like pretty smart captaincy because they started with their strike weapon, Wayne Brand, and he's delivered a good over, but they still got 7 runs off it. A complete change of pace with Michael Spillane.
Oh, absolutely. And Brandy, as they call him, he's been pretty consistent across all forms of grades that he's been playing. As you said, he's a strike bowler. Very unpredictable with his action. That's the hardest thing to pick. Where it's coming out, he's sort of got helicopter arms when he comes in to bowl, but he can put it on a dime when he needs to and creates a chance.
There's the one out of the back of the hand. You're talking about that variation there. The previous one, a bit more of a dart out of the front of the hand, but a bit of a legs or a wrist spinner there. Misdirected though, got a leg side wide for 2 runs there for Paul Cross.
I think if he tries to land that spot, it might create more of an opportunity for himself and for Toombul. 64 runs on the board, but look, grand finals, anything can happen, mate. And they're second over, third ball is second over, and they're on 6, so it's probably where they want to be right now.
I mentioned to Stu on air, and before you came on, and thanks to Stu for taking part as Paul Cross scores a flat 2 to the offside, that Toombul kept Ipswich over 45 to 64 runs in the previous match, so they can definitely keep quality teams to 64, and they have to remember that if they can be kept to 64, then so can Wynnum, even though Wynnum haven't been defeated this year.
Absolutely, mate. As we both know, it's a different game when you come to a grand final. It's an open slather. There's opportunities. You're good enough to make the grand final. You're good enough to win it, as far as I'm concerned. It's game on. Just like when we played Nationals in Adelaide, you give yourself an opportunity. You put your team there, and you just got to take those chances. Those half chances, as we know, the 1%ers, which is pretty boring cricket, but to create a half chance, starts with a bowler at the top and works its way through.
And speaking of boring cricket, if you will, Paul Cross just makes some room for himself. Bang, gets that ball into the ground nice and early, takes 2 on the offside, and that's all they need to do. They need about 4 runs per over. They're already ahead of the run rate. Safe, good cricket shots are the way to do this, I would say.
Yeah, I can't knock that. That's the process you need to do, mate. Chase a 64, you get 20 a pair, and game's won. It's boring basic cricket, as you said, mate. So now we got Jason Freeman coming on to bowl 3rd over for Toombul. Finally made his debut for the Queensland over 45s this year, and had a good carnival, even though they didn't make it to the big dance, but definitely held his own against quality opponents down in Adelaide.
He sounds like a popular teammate. Stu was saying he's the most relaxed person he's ever met in his life.
Absolutely, mate. And even in zones last year, he was pretty much player of the carnival, didn't rate himself, didn't sign the sheet, and then it come to the last minute, and the coach pretty much convinced him to play. And then he went out and did the job for Kev Alahutin in the 45. So,
well, he started really well here. That one just sort of ducking back into Zeller there. As you mentioned, Zeller, ex-Open Australian player, high quality. Couldn't do much about that delivery though.
Oh, cut him in half. Freo bowled in the right spot. Freo knows what he's got to do. Apart from that ball, unfortunately, but as you said, when you're bowling to quality batters, there's one area that you got to hit, and you got to try your utmost to get that part done. And it starts at the top of the bowler. Take your time. There's no time limits in grand finals. It's all about mind over matter, especially with Masters cricket. Look, it looks very competitive on screen, but it's the little things that you need to keep in mind of doing things right. Back the pace off the ball, create an opportunity, bowl in the right areas, bowl on the hip where you're taking the major shot out, making the batter work hard for it. Like that right there.
Yep.
Perfect line, Paul Cross in 2 minds which way to play it, and it's actually, if he didn't hit the ball, it would have hit him right on the hip, perfect spot.
And opted for the safe shot there. What you're trying to do, I suppose, is trying to force the batters to play bad shots. And by bowling good balls for long periods of time, unfortunately, Freo's dropped a little bit short there, and an easy 2 for Paul Cross. If you can just keep that line, that length, and the bowlers can work together there, they've got a good enough fielding team to get this job done.
Exactly right. It's all about putting what I do in a training drill with the state team. I put a towel on the ground and I make the bowlers just concentrate on hitting that towel. At the end of the day, they're going to focus everything on what they need to do. Hit that towel, that's the task at hand. And then you take that into a game scenario, you're going to find that you're creating an opportunity for your front court to come into play, take that half chance to take a wicket, and that's what our game's all about, taking wickets, keeping the score as low as possible.
It sounds like a pretty good drill, and it makes a lot of sense. I've actually heard that the Australian test team uses similar things. They don't use a towel, they use a sandpaper instead.
Touche. Hey. Speaking of that, quickly, how many wickets fell last night? It doesn't look like a bad pitch, but at least they're not building roads for a change.
Speaking of bad shots, just quietly, there have been a few of those from England and Australia.
Yeah, exactly right.
We've got Paul Elliott into the attack here, keeping it nice and tight, just inside the leg side line there, according to Wayne Thomas. A good start.
Dot ball, that's what you want. And as we know in the last over, every wide or leg side is to be rebowled. So Paulie off to a great start. And another good ball off the leg for one. Paulie Elliott did make the Queensland over 45s side this year as well. So being drilled and coached by Kevin Alaoutin, I think it's come to fruition for Paulie to bowl in the right spot.
Just looking at Paul, he looks like a good athlete as well. He looks fit, and going into these sort of games, it's deceptive because it's such a small court, but you do get fatigued. Particularly towards the end of a grand final or a tournament or the state tournament, and it's having that fitness level. You know that Paul Elliott's going to give it his all and be consistent right to the end of the game. And that's 4 deliveries, pretty much carbon copies to 2 different batters. You can't ask for much more.
To quality batters, he's bowling the over that TOOM will need to keep him in the game. I think this could be a game changer right here, this over. And you're right. Basically, every state game you play when you're away in a carnival is 2 levels up on a grand final. The intensity, the mental, and also
just the fatigue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is more mental. It's hard to stay composed, and that's what can bring you undone at the back end of a tournament, even Super League as well. Our season's been so long and winded. To have everything and bring everything and leave it on the court, yeah, that's what you want out of your team. And that's the end of the 4th over.
24 was the score. They stuck a couple of shots outside off there. As we were giving Paul a rap, he did just kind of give him a little bit of room outside off, unfortunately. Still a really good over, though. TOOM takes the first skin. Skin's not so important in a grand final, but it can be a good psychological thing to be like, look, we had the better start, and now we need to defend 11. And they have the players to be able to do it. We've talked about the quality out there. Dave Bowden's taken 22 wickets this season. He's He's been outstanding. Wayne Brand's taken 20. Spillane's taken 20. There's a lot of good bowlers out there.
As you said, Dave Bowden, his action and look, Dave Bowden's been a quality state player for Queensland for the last 5 years. I don't think. Actually, he played for New Zealand. He got selected for the New Zealand side this year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is he actually a Kiwi?
I don't think so. But once again, it doesn't matter how you put that ball on that pitch. If you're creating opportunities, you're going to go a long way.
Yeah.
And grand finals, as you said, the amount of wickets they've taken all year. That's why Toombul Tigers are one of the sides really to beat this year.
The Innovate Property Toombul Tigers. They've got Nathan Millard coming into bowl here. He took 2 wickets against Ipswich last week. You wouldn't know it from that delivery, but he was pivotal in the previous game. And he's bowling to, is that Andrew Howard? Yes.
Yeah, correct.
And Kieran McHugh is at the non-strikers then.
Yeah, and also Nathan made his debut year for Queensland over 45s this year as well. Had a pretty good carnival by all reports. It doesn't have to look pretty, as long as you keep thinking what the purpose is on your when you're bowling your over. As long as you keep it real. That was a bit lucky bowling a full toss there. Got away with it.
Yeah, I think bowling to a new batter probably helped him there.
Yeah, I think so.
Kieran McHugh may have been looking to deposit that into the 2 springs. He's been super safe, Kieran McHugh. He's played 7 games in this grade. He's averaging almost 12, and he's only been out twice in 7 games.
Nothing wrong with that at all, mate. And that's probably why he made that winning 45 side. Just Wynnum are breeding quality players, and with the likes of the Brenton Bryans and the Matt Jenkins and the Eric Petersons, and even the Steph Zellers, the Brad Zellers, the Eddie Mariners at the club, having that backing by the players, you're going to want to step up to the occasion and lift your game more to compete with them.
Yep.
Not so much compete, but to get to their level. And look, accolades are massive.
Oh, that's a good shot.
That's a good shot by Andrew Howard. Nice little outswinger from Nathan, but unfortunately for Andrew, he's put it to the back there for 4.
And such a key bowler, and as you mentioned, a representative player, Nathan Millard. He's gone for none for 12 here. Such a key moment. It feels like that could be a big over for Wynnum. Strategically speaking, John, you're a high-level coach. With your bowlers now, if you're Toombul, are you going hard with everything you've got now to try and turn momentum and bring the game back your way, or are you going to try and just try and take the game as deep as you can?
Look, it could go both ways. Looks like maybe Grant Macquarie might be having a bowl now. You just need someone to give an opportunity, create that half chance. As I said, as a state coach, I sort of leave the game plans to the captain on the field. We talk about what we might do and who we might bowl at, but in situations, you just need someone who's going to be boring and just maybe a Dave Bowden even could have probably bowled this over. And you just need to be consistent. Don't give any extras. Make the batter work for the shots. And look, we all know cricket's a fickle game. Anything can happen at any time. Create that chance. Make the batsman make the mistake.
Speaking of Grant Macquarie, he averages almost 2 wickets a game from his 8 games. So he is someone that has been taking wickets. It's not the most classical action that he has, but you talked about earlier about just getting it on that spot.
Yep.
And look, he's bowling straight and creates a chance.
There
Bang.
we go. There it is. And that's probably what they were talking about in the huddle before the over. That's what they were probably talking about in the huddle before the over. We just need someone to do something little to create that chance and make the batsman make the mistake. And Andrew made the mistake. He hit it straight to the fielder, and they got the run out. So it brings the score back to 9. The total score is 33 with 2 balls left in the 6th over. Oh, and
Almost
Grant,
through him.
right there. Almost got through him too. Grant.
Yeah.
Grant's the manager of Toombul Indoor Sports. Has been a long-time friend and work colleague of Brent and Brian. He's...
close one. Lovely piece of fielding from that Paul Elliott.
Paulie Elliott, yep.
He's called for the video replay. Unfortunately, the fielder can't do that.
I think only open men's have the video replay, mate.
Yeah, they've got enough money for cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say, if you do like the broadcast, callingallsportsbrisbane.com is the place to be. They do a variety of live streaming events. So if that's your kind of thing, please check them out, callingallsportsbrisbane.com. My name's Bo Nicholson. I'm the lead caller, and I've got John McLaughlin here with me, the Queensland over 35s coach. All-round good bloke. Dave Bowden's into the attack here for Toombul. That was a great over and a really pivotal over. And this momentum has swung so many times throughout this game, and I wonder if Dave Bowden can capitalise here. Oh, goodness.
Not with that one.
I've got to say, there's a bit of a pattern happening here. Wynnum, for the most part, at least, kept the ball on the pitch. They kept it straight. They weren't conceding many extras.
Look, false sense of security, mate.
Psychological.
Throw a blowy, and look, let's see what Dave does with this ball. Oh. Right there, right on the money. You know, almost got through the defence. And once again, dot ball, pressure on the batsman. Even though the score's only 37, they're in 2 minds. They need to keep the runs ticking over, keep confidence going with themselves, just to set that platform up for that next pair going in. And Dave Bowden started with a full toss, no ball, and the next 2 balls have been right on the money.
And it looks like Kieran McHugh's quite happy to play very conservatively, trying to play as late as possible, not looking to take any risks, which, given the game situation, probably isn't a bad idea.
And look, that's the object of our game, you know. Try and play it under your eyes, right under your eyes. So you're looking down at the ball. When you play the shot, you're playing down up as they say, into the screws of the net. Anything to get over the fielder and to take them out of play. That's how we try to play the game. But as we know, you can only do what you can do. These guys here. 1 ball to go. Dave's over. The partnership's on 18. Scores 42. I think they're setting it up quite well for the next pair to go in.
You'd have to say Wynnum are in front in this game, but as you mentioned earlier, cricket she's a fickle beast, and a good end to the over there from Dave Bowden. One of the good guys of indoor cricket. The Skin total is 18, puts them well ahead of their counterpart Skin. What are you thinking now, John? Are we looking for wickets fairly desperately here?
They need an over like Paulie Elliott bowled, where it's 4 drop balls, and to keep that score as low as possible, or a wicket, whatever it takes. They got to do something. You got to don't wait for it to happen. You got to make it happen. I thoroughly believe that, and here's a perfect opportunity to create that chance.
This is Glenn Connell coming into bowl. He did make it happen earlier off Grant Macquarie's bowling, and straight to him, and very calmly put it into the top end stumps for a run out. Really nice piece of fielding. Hopefully he can back it up with his bowling. He's a guy that's been around indoor cricket for a long time. His son Aiden is starting to come through the grades. He's playing B grade at Toombul these days. Oh, it's a leg side.
That's, like as I said, our Masters comp is, I believe is probably one of the best comps maybe in the country. A lot of our Masters state level cricketers go away and compete very, very soundly. To have the opportunity to have, there's a wicket there, right there.
Goodness.
Dave Bowden, at the end of the day, not worried about throwing the ball back to the receiver, keeping the batter on strike on his game. He can't drop off, because as soon as you drop off, there's an opportunity to take a wicket, and Dave's just done that.
I wasn't 100% sure. I thought it may have been a catch. It may have been hit onto his foot and to Bowden, but Bowden taking no chances, prefers the run out, not taking the catch. He slaps it straight back to the keeper and direct hit, out. Very important wicket.
And that's what Dave Bowden does. He's pretty consistent across all forms. And look, 6 ball overs, 1 wicket and over. They're on the back foot to start with. It pressures back on the batsman to continue moving positively towards setting up a platform for that next pair to come in.
All risky. Bowden a misfield. He'll be slightly frustrated with himself. You can see himself throwing his head back there. This is still quite an evenly matched game because Wynnum's only just scoring probably a little bit more than 5 and over. Toombul ended up with 4 and over. So Wynnum certainly ahead, as we mentioned earlier, but they're not coasting in at this stage. Toombul's going to push them the whole way.
And you're right. You've probably got the 2 best sides out of the over 45s competition all year. They need to know what they have to do, but it's all about concentration. And look, they only scored 20. They got the skin, but they're well and truly over halfway to that score. And the next pair coming in is Trevor Mariner and Brad Zeller.
Brad Zeller, yes.
Brad Zeller, like you can call him the Mr. Cricket, really, of indoor cricket. He's done everything, been everywhere, and still playing. You know, you could almost wheel him out in a wheelchair. But he's going to do everything he has to set that last pair up to get Wynnum over the line.
Am I correct in saying that both of these guys have represented Queensland at over 50s?
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Correct.
So,
I think actually Brad was selected in the Australian side this year, but I think he might have had to have pulled out because of injury.
Oh, he's too good for them. That's the problem. He had to pull
maybe
out.
He decided that too, but look, once again, Brad Zeller, over 50, making Australian side. It's like, it's crazy. Just talent. The whole Zeller family just breeds talent. You know, Steph Zeller, Dean Zeller. Dean Zeller's, I don't think he's represented Queensland, but he's represented North Queensland. It's just in their blood, I think.
I'm a big fan of Brad Zeller and his cricket, but I'm a bigger fan of his goggles. I'm a real fan of the goggles. They're looking good.
They're pretty tricky. Oh, Brandy. Wayne Brand, bowling the 9th overs. He's just got that natural ability of in-swing and sometimes cutting it off the deck and almost created a chance there. The batsmen weren't looking at each other, but got away with it.
Stewie and I were talking earlier about Wayne Brand's impact last week against Ipswich. He took 3 for -9.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, keeping it Ipswich at 64, that was the difference.
Yeah. Look, that's where I play and coach out at Ipswich, and he did everything right. He turned up on the day. He did his job and secured victory for Toombul. Kept a quality Ipswich side out of the game, and that set it up. And look, that's what the team players feed off. A guy that's going to get into the hard yards. Like that, mate. Lucky that hit the inside edge because otherwise that was just going to bowl him right there. But Trev got away with it. 2 balls to go. They've got two off him so far. Only 46, but just got to keep focusing on that 1 wicket and over.
Yep.
Any more's a bonus. If you can't take that wicket, you gotta make the batsman work as hard as he can.
Yeah. It looks like Brad Zeller's just pulled up a little bit lame there on one of his legs. I'm not sure. It'd be maybe worth keeping an eye on there. He certainly should have made that run quite comfortably, but
yeah, it looks like he's got a bit of a limp. Maybe it's been a long season, and with Nationals in Adelaide, he's brought it back, but he'll play on half leg if he has to.
Yeah, no, he's definitely laboured out there, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that he pulled out of potentially playing for Australia with injury, so one to keep an eye on there. If he can't be making runs, as in making his ground, it could be a real issue for Wynnum moving forward.
Oh, look, and that's what you'd be targeting. That's what I'll be saying in that huddle right now. Brad Zeller, he's on a half a leg. Whatever we got to do, you got to bowl that ball to create a chance to run Brad out of the other end. You got to make him run. And you can't make him coast because it's just too easy for him.
And what ball is that, do you think? What's the best kind of ball to make him a run-out opportunity?
Mate, to be perfectly honest, I'll be putting 2 on the leg side, and I'll be focusing everything on Brad's hip and making him play on that leg side to create that chance. Don't give him anything outside off stump. He'll bang it up all day. Yeah, you gotta make the batsman think. You can't make it easy for him. Otherwise, it's just going to be it's dinner.
Oh, that's a good piece of fielding there. Almost created a chance out of nothing.
Yeah,
with Zeller.
He's hitting it pretty flat at the moment, but that's where the half chances need to come in.
Yep.
You know, have a bit of confidence with yourself. Back yourself.
When we talk about hitting flat, we're talking about hitting it at a height that the fielders can access the ball quickly.
Yeah, exactly right. Like not pretty much like an outdoor shot. If you're playing across your body, you're hitting it down. Even though you're trying to get it down up over the fielder, you're mistiming the shot and you're hitting it in the base of the net, not the top of the net.
We have a score update just quietly from another court. It's the court that has no audio on it. In D grade, the Springwood Scorpions have scored 103, and they have defended that against Victoria Point Vipers, who scored 92. A really good close game, a great chase by the Vipers, and a good win for the Springwood Scorpions.
There's the wicket there. Very lucky it was no ball off the pitch, but Nathan, that was the main thing for him playing 45s this year. It was all about his keeping ability, and he dead eye threw it back to the receiver and got the money.
He had Trevor Mariner out by a fair margin there too. Grant Macquarie is probably coming back saying that he meant that. He's bowling to his field.
I'll ask him later and see what he says.
Oh, he'll definitely say that. He will definitely say that. I would.
There was that half chance right there. You got Wayne Brown on the leg side, who's a mountain. He's got the height, and that's what you need. What I try to implement, if I've got height, you've got to have them in the front. Make them play their shots. Make the batter think twice, especially with the height. You're not just going to do a half shot and think, oh no, it's over him. The fielder's going to be wanting to try and take a wicket. So there you go. After 10 overs, the third pair is on 4, and I think the total score is 46, chasing 64. 48.
And I tell you what, only slightly ahead. Now they're now less than 5 runs and over on their run rate. Toombul just gradually just bringing them back into this game. Grant Macquarie, great bowling figures, 2 for none. Bringing Michael Spillane on, trying to probably just take the pace off the ball again. It seemed to work pretty well in his previous over, and Grant's not the fastest bowler going around, and it seemed to work as well. So maybe trying to force these batters to do something a bit different.
As you said, force the foot there. They're trying to make the batter force the shot. And look, it's probably a good ploy by Toombul. Make the batsman think. Don't think it's just an easy over. And by the look of it, we got Eddie Mariner and Darren Woodman coming in for the last pair. Eddie Mariner made current over 50s and Australian representative, so he definitely knows what's required in that last pair. And Darren Woodman is not so much this year, but has been on the Queensland sides for the last couple of years. So they definitely got the ability to bring it home. But look, grand final, anything can happen.
Woodman's also coming fresh off 18 runs off his own blade last week in the semi-final. So in a game that they only won by 10 runs in the end, that's a really pivotal contribution.
And confidence. Confidence is what every player aspires to bring into a game. You bring confidence, and everyone's going to feed off that. And it looks like he's just dropping a bit short there.
Yeah.
Making it a bit easier. Fly it up a bit, throw it up there, make the batsman play the shot.
And that was the back of the handball that you're probably looking for it to be a touch fuller than that.
Yep.
But really well played by Brad Zeller. Good footwork, got himself back, and
there was the opportunity right there. Missed the catch, missed a run out. That could have set it up for that 12th over and put the batsman in two minds.
Now we're coming into the final over of this skin. Toombul are only 6 runs ahead with 5 overs left to play. It is absolutely integral that they make sure that the final batting pair are chasing something.
Yep.
That they don't walk out there already in front. It's so important, even if it's only 5 or 6, it is better to have that sort of scoreboard pressure than none at all.
And you're right, that's what it's all about. You need to put the pressure on that last pair. You can't just let them walk out with the game already won, because they're just going to think, oh yeah, it's a walk in the park. Grand finals, as I've said the whole way through, to make them compete. You know, it doesn't matter what runs you got on the board. You've still got the runs on the board. They've got to get them.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter what. But also for the fielding side, they got to put the pressure on the batsman as well.
We've got Glenn Connell bowling here, and he did bowl a really good first over, and he's just beaten Trevor Mariner for pace outside the off stump there. Oh, really tight.
It's a great ball, and that's what he needs to do. Looks like it's a third ball scenario.
Yeah, score must change here, third ball. With Nathan Millard's brilliant arm, he might be thinking outside off stump.
He's put everything towards the hip so far, so maybe...
Maybe a touch short.
And look, I get 2 on leg side, but unfortunately, the bowler needs just to continue bowling that area, otherwise it's a waste of a fielder. Look, Trevor with that last shot, it was too easy on the outside off stump, and there it is. There's the opportunity, and there's the wicket right there.
Got him. Dead-eye Millard again.
Yep.
He can't miss.
But service from the front court to the keeper, up to the back, creates that wicket. That
was Dave Bowden down the front court, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just class from Bowden. And brilliantly done by Millard. And you got to say, I mean, he has got that 2-leg side field. At least that delivery, it was on that hip.
Worked perfectly. Now the bowler's just got to keep thinking. He's got to do that. He's got to put it on that spot.
Score's now 55. Wynnum need 12 runs to win. Oh, under edge. Chance at the top. No, not a clean gather there from Paul Elliott. Unfortunately for him. So dot ball. Final ball of this batting partnership. They've scored 11 so far. They'll probably be a little bit unhappy with that, considering some of the opportunities they've given.
The bowling is hit and miss. They'll bowl 2 good balls, and then they'll be wayward. Take the pressure off, take the foot off the throat, as we say. Especially with, that's a great shot by Trev. And a good finish to the third pair for Wynnum. At the end of the day, it's not about skins, it's all about make sure you get a victory. Securing victory, grand final, the glory. So they did what they had to do. A couple of great overs there, but a couple of overs that could have created a chance. Well, they did create a chance, but then took the foot off. So it's all coming down to this last pair now. The score is 64. Toombul hit 64. Wynnum 57 at the start of the 13th over.
So 8 runs to win in 4 overs. Things like run rates and stuff like that don't matter anymore.
No.
It's going to be a grind from here on out. Toombul, we know, will be up for the grind. It's up to Wynnum whether they can withstand this pressure, because as someone that has batted in this situation a fair few times in the grades that I play, even 8 runs can feel like a lot if you lose an early wicket.
Yeah, absolutely. It's massive. And Jason Freeman starting it off.
Yeah,
Wide outside the off stump. Darren Woodman's missed a perfect opportunity to bang it down and up for 2 to get him started. I played with Woody at Vicky Point for a lot of years. You target him, can create a chance.
Oh,
right
like that.
there.
Look at Dave Bowden down that front court. We was thrilled to see Steph Zeller down there earlier, and Dave Bowden is every bit is equal at the moment.
Stepped up to the plate, as I said earlier. Dave Bowden, he's been in and around the state level for a numerous amount of years and knows what he's got to do. It's all about soft hands, service, creating a chance. The batsman's going to make a mistake, and there was a bit of indecision in communication there.
And that's without mentioning Nathan Millard's hands. Still out. Oh, goodness, how unfortunate. Woodman, in trying to get back, has dropped his bat. Eddie Mariner, realising the desperation of the situation, came through to try and make his ground and almost did. But Bowden, steady head once again, gets the job done.
Looked like Darren Woodman was complaining to the umpire about interference, but as we know with indoor cricket, the field's got right away.
Absolutely.
And Darren looks like he hasn't connected one ball yet. As I said, last game he hit 18 off his own stick. Coming to the pressure games, this is what can happen. So right now, we've got 3 balls to go on Jason Freeman's first over. Scores on -10. Back to 47.
Suddenly, WinViz has swung in Toomble's favour, you would have thought, if I was any good at maths.
You want me to take your shoes off, mate? Are you right?
We got 18 runs to win and a little more than 3 overs. Negotiating these next 2 balls has suddenly become a momentous task.
Still got Eddie Mariner, a quality player. Has done it in outdoor cricket and indoor cricket. Just got to keep talking to Woody. You just got to keep pumping his tyres up, as you say, feeling full of confidence. As soon as you get one off the bat, that's when the confidence starts coming.
Yep.
And that's all Woody needs.
Well, it's interesting to note that there's just 1 into the corner, or is that 2? I think he's given it 1.
Yeah, it looks like it was 1. So fantastic over from Jason Freeman. He's finished with 2 for 0 off his 2 overs, and everything you want from a Team of Tigers player to do in the 13th over. So, look, 15 required off 3.
He's given them a red hot chance now. Another wicket here, and the cat's really amongst the pigeons.
That it is. And big Nathan Millard is having this over. I think Jason needs to have a quick chat to him and say, hey, try and back up what I did in my over.
Yep.
You know, put the pressure on Darren. But also Eddie's got to say to Darren, hey, mate, all you got to do is connect 1 and go from there, mate. Confidence flows either way. You got to believe. You just got to believe yourself. Grand final, there's nothing after this, mate, so you got every opportunity.
Absolutely. Millard into Woodman. Short outside off, and a good shot from Woodman. That will build his confidence, as you mentioned earlier.
Exactly right. But Nathan Millard knows what he needs to do. I think to start it off, probably a bit complacent, thought he was going to do something else, but unfortunately he didn't.
Didn't start his last over too well either, but he did bring it back very nicely. So, and a wide call. I'm not sure the bowler agrees, but I think Wayne Thomas might have been on the money there.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Look, as we're cricketers, mate, we always question the umpire and their calls, and nothing's ever wide or leg side, but you know,
except when you're batting, then it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is a leg side and a good call.
See,
just a quick score update on B grade, which is on our other stream. Looks like Strathpine are 23 runs ahead of Caboolture, chasing with 3 overs left. So you'd have to say Strathpine in a very comfortable position to take out the B grade final.
Yeah, look.
Good young kids.
Strathpine, they took out the comp last year, so probably good to see him back it up. Plenty of talent.
Oh, so much talent.
And you've got a guy by the name of Joel Boucher, current Australian over men's 40s over men's player, and has been for the last couple of years, and he's gone from 30s, 35s, 40s. So have the leadership skills of Joel on your side, it goes a long way.
We look forward to seeing Strathpine in the men's NICL final later tonight. The likes of Cameron and Chris Boyce and Ryan Dowse. Benny Armstrong has played open men's for Queensland, and then Vicky Point. Jamie Stewart,
current open men's state player from this year, a victorious state player from this year.
Yep.
They've also got Cameron Trask, who's I don't think he's played first grade for Wynnum this year, but has done for the last couple of years. And
yeah, he's won some awards at Premier Cricket, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Won as an eye for a hit and can bowl. So, look, it's building up to a tasty grand final. And the best thing, you got the 1 and 2 playing off for the spoils. So we have the two sides that have dominated all year to showcase tonight. And the crowd's building up nicely. It's almost to the end of the first round of grand finals today. We've got into the 15th over. Toombul are still 5 runs in front with 2 overs to go, mate.
Yeah, they've and Paul Elliott into the attack. As we mentioned, a fit-looking man coming into the end of this game. That extra fitness will surely put him in good stead to deliver the goodies here. And that leaves Dave Bowden to bowl the final over, if I'm not mistaken. That's a great nut. And good piece of fielding from Grant Macquarie. Look, this game is absolutely on. They've got 2 class representative bowlers against 2 class batters.
And also you got Dave Bowden, Wayne Brand, front court. Grant Macquarie, he's not short of a field.
Unlucky.
Unfortunately, Paulie's probably trying a little bit too hard there, but making it easy for Darren, who looks like he might be struggling a little bit. But end of the day, they just got to get in front to secure a victory. But hey, game on, I reckon.
Absolutely. We're right in the middle of it. Oh, an aggressive shot. It's 4 runs, and it puts Wynnum in front for the first time of this game. Probably, I wouldn't even say a risky shot. He hit the ball hard, but it was straight along the ground.
Once again, backing yourself, and as I said, Darren Woodman's capable of that. And he pulled off the shot, and that could be the confidence booster that could be the confidence booster he was looking for. And now, looks like it might be a bit of boring cricket to finish it off, mate.
I tell you what, you don't want to go too far into your shell, though, do you? Because that plays with, as you mentioned, indoor cricket is largely a mental game. And if their mentality is, I don't want to get out, that might work in their favour, but it might also prevent them from moving far ahead enough to win the game comfortably.
Exactly right. As they say in outdoor, you're shutting up shop, but you can't do it in indoor cricket.
And it's good to... Oh, he had him too. Very flat into that offside court. Wayne Brand on his wrong hand. Still looking very skillful, though, at that left hand. Slightly low service to Nathan Millard. Wasn't able to collect. Very unfortunate. Would have made a grandstand finish if he got that one.
Look, I still believe it could be, mate. Dave Bowden, he'll nag that ball in that spot and make you play to finish the game. So just remember, 2 dot balls, it's the 3rd ball, you've got to run. And that's where Eddie will be saying to Darren, just think about what you got to do right.
You'd be thinking that Toom will need 2 wickets here. Being 4 runs in front, 1 wicket probably won't be enough.
Yep.
Needs to get 2.
Yeah, you're right. But I think you got to break it down into sections. You got to plan for that first wicket.
Yep.
You got to make that first wicket happen. You got to create that chance, and then it'll go again.
He started with a big fully again. He's called it no ball.
No ball.
I
don't know about that.
I probably disagree with Mr. Thomas there, but he is in a very difficult. He's in a very difficult spot there too.
You can't question it. At the end of the day, umpire scores final. But look, you hate an umpire making a call on a game, hey?
No, that's right. He's got him. He's out. That's an aggressive shot from Woodman. It worked for him in the previous over to put Wynnum in front, but now it's put them back to level. No, not quite level. There's still 1 in front. But the pressure's on now.
If we remember Dave Bowden's first ball of his first over, it almost touched Wayne Thomas, but then the next 5 balls were all on a string.
Yep.
Creating that opportunity. And there it is right there. Game on.
Absolutely. Short and wide outside off. That was the wrong delivery. It hasn't touched the 2 net though, so 1 scored.
4 balls to go.
Still 1 wicket. You're still, he's taken 1 so far, still needs that 2, so what's he doing now to get that wicket?
He needs to focus on that area on the hip. A little bit too much room Eddie's quality batter. He's not gonna miss them.
Yeah, he'll be
He'll eat 'em
disappointed
for
with that.
breakfast.
Yeah, that was like Cocoa Pops, mate, just outside
This
off.
is who they need to target right now. Is Darren Woodman, Dave Bowden. You need to believe in yourself and think you're going to take the wicket right now.
Well, he's been playing slightly across the line here, Woodman. So if Bowden can get on that good length, there's a dot ball. Another dot ball here makes it very interesting. Third ball to finish the game.
4 in front, 2 to go.
Yeah. If he can find that right length, just short of a full length, I feel like Woodman won't be able to help himself
Look,
here.
Darren Woodman blocks this. It's third ball rule, last ball.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Good shot.
Too easy.
That's a really good shot. And Woodman is excited. He understands. He understands.
At the end of the day, on the scoreboard, doesn't matter what it looks like. Even what we've seen on camera today, you can be as scratchy as, but on the score sheet, it says that he's only been out once or twice. 6 in front with 1 ball left.
Oh. Eddie Mariner delivers the leave to end all leaves. Not quite Steve Smith or Courtney Walsh, but close enough. And Wynnum, over 45s, are the champions. Undefeated throughout the entire season, John. Tremendously well-deserved.
I think that might even be back-to-back, maybe.
You might be right. I'm afraid I'm not aware. I'm sure some of our watchers and viewers would be able to let us know about that.
I'm sure they will. But, look, you're right. Undefeated. So they should have. It doesn't matter how many you win by. 100, it doesn't matter. You're still 2019 over 45s champions. And congratulations to them, But credit to Toombul, they pushed them. Made it hard for them. It wasn't a walk in the park.
I will say this. I think I said to Stu in the first half of our commentary that you look at Steph Zeller, with 3 for -9. Kieran McHugh with 2 for -6. That's 5 for -15 and 4 overs.
That's huge. That's huge in a grand. In any game, that's huge, mate.
It probably, and Toombul are 15 runs short of par.
Yep.
That's probably the difference.
Yeah, and you're right. You look at Toombul's score 26, 11, 24 in that last partnership of 3. If they would have got 20, game on.
Absolutely.
As you said, minus 15. At the end of the day, if they score 15 or 20, puts the pressure back on to win them to make them push through. But credit, as you said, credit to win them undefeated. Can't ask for any more than that.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to Wynnum for their victory today. A hearty congratulations to Toombul for being runners-up. The Innovate Property Toombul Tigers. And congratulations again to the Rain and Horn Wynnum Seagulls. Thank you very much, John.
Bo, thank you for commentating with me there, mate. And best of luck to the sides competing in the rest of the grand final day.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.